So, as of we are a part of the Great Osiris Podcast Network. So, just wanted to give a recommendation for some recent ones that we've been listening to or maybe upcoming. I just listened to an episode of the podcast Wheels Off with Rhett Miller, of course, the front man for the long-running band, the Old 97s. This was actually a podcast that came out, I think, in the middle of 2021. It was his interview with Jeff Tweedy, where Jeff Tweedy had just released his book, How to Write a Song. I think that's what it's called, How to Write One Song. And they kind of go into detail about the songwriting process. Anytime someone kind of as chipper and laid back as Rhett Miller interviews someone similarly laid back dad as Jeff Tweedy, you're going to get some really fun chestnuts. And that's what it was about. It was a pretty easy 45-minute conversation that I greatly enjoyed. And I enjoy most of Rhett Miller's conversations. Anyone who's been in the music industry, has been playing music, has been touring for that long, is obviously going to have a good rapport with people and good things to say. And he does. So, I would highly recommend the Rhett Miller Wheels Off with Jeff Tweedy.
I need to listen to that. That would be a fantastic interview. Rhett does such a great job, and Tweedy is, as you all know, one of our favorites. I want to tell you about a podcast that will be debuting this week as of this podcast being released. The Great Beyond. Is it a Goose podcast or is it not? Well, we'll find out. The Great Beyond is hosted by Greg, Bruce, and Joey. Three awesome dudes. All have kind of ties to the larger music industry and all are huge Goose fans. The Great Beyond's been going on since mid-2021, recapping Goose shows, Goose runs, and we brought them over to Osiris Media. It made sense. We wanted to start more constructive Goose content, similar to how we focus on Grateful Dead and Fish content on a week-to-week basis as those tours are happening and looking at the band from a historical standpoint. And I've been working pretty closely with these guys, getting the show off the ground. They have a lot happening here in the winter and spring of 2022. Goose will be doing a pretty extensive winter tour coming up here in the next couple of weeks, actually starting on January 26th. So Goose will be touring the show. Will be recapping each show live the morning after, and then we'll be doing weekly podcast releases covering everything from Goose's history and kind of what the last few years have been like for the band, specifically focusing on kind of that post-2019 Peach Fest concert when the band really became well-known by the larger musical public and jam band aficionados. We'll be talking to band members. We'll be talking to people that have influenced the band. We'll be talking to fans. There's just going to be a ton of conversation, a ton happening on the podcast. It's going to be really fantastic. I'm really excited to see them start rolling and to get people, give people that kind of day-to-day and week-to-week insight into Goose that I think is definitely needed. There's a lot happening under the surface with that band that's really fascinating. They're in a really interesting period in their own overall history. So what better than a podcast to complement it?